What's up, Glamazons? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. My name is Natalie and this is my channel, Music to Makeup. So in my last giveaway, I asked everyone what their zodiac astrology sign was, and I also asked if anyone would be interested in an astrology video. And a few people said yes, and I was like, okay, that's enough for me. So what I'm going to be talking about in particular today are the three most important signs in your zodiac chart. So not many people know, almost everybody knows their sun sign. You know, oh, what's your sign? You know, and automatically you're going to say your sun sign because that's what most people know. But if you think about it, like, I'm a Cancer, okay? So from June 22nd to July 22nd, everyone that was born within that month period isn't going to be the same. And there are so many different aspects of your birth chart that affect you and your personality that I want to talk about a few of those things. So the second most important sign is your moon sign, and then there is your rising sign or ascendant, which some people consider even more important than your sun sign. But yeah, if you're interested in hearing what each sign represents and how to figure out what your moon and rising sun sign are, then keep on watching. Okay, so the way that I first learned about moon and rising sun signs was I was on vacation in New York. I love New York. And I went on a Sex and the City tour. And our first stop was the Pleasure Palace, where they take Charlotte to buy some lingerie. And I bought this Cosmopolitan Bedside Astrologer. And honestly, this is one of the best astrology books that I've ever read. So when I was reading it, it would say moon sign and then rising sign. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And then in the back it has a way to calculate it. So that's when I started learning about it. And then I got more interested in just your natal chart in general and learning about the different houses. And anyways, I'm not going to get into all that detail because I am still learning, but I do want to talk about, like I said, the three most important signs. So everybody knows their sun sign. Okay, but alright, so your sun sign represents the core of who you are, as well as your ego, drive, persona, and overarching values. Your rising sun, on the other hand, relates to your surface level self and represents how you present to others. And it says, but understanding what your moon sign means can be one of the most eye-opening discoveries in your birth chart. And that is true. When I learned about these other signs, it helped me understand myself a lot better. The moon relates to how we care, our emotions, our sensitivities, and our home. In your chart, the moon sign will tell you about your most vulnerable and emotional sides and illuminates your private inner world. Okay, so the moon is about our emotions. One of the most significant pieces of what the moon represents in our cosmic framework is emotions and feelings. While our sun sign tells us how we shine, our moon sign describes our emotional nature. The moon sign tells us how we express our feelings, behave in emotional situations, or respond to others' emotions. And because the moon moves through the zodiac relatively quickly, it's the planet has the most sway over our day-to-day moods. That helps to explain why some people feel extra emotional under a full moon. I will intentionally make sure that I'm not scheduled on a full moon at work, because when I work when it's a full moon, these patients are off the chain. Like, it's no joke. Alright, So if your moon is in a fire sign, you likely have a big emotional reactions, whereas you're probably more stable and grounded in emotional situations if you're an earth moon sign. If you're a water moon sign and you feel your emotions in a deep and meaningful way. But if your moon is in an air sign, you likely approach emotional situations from a more detached and intellectual perspective. So the moon also represents our maternal instincts. The moon in astrology is considered the most maternal planet, so it makes sense our moon sign dictates the way we seek emotional safety and provide comfort to the people we love. The moon is our emotional and sentimental side, but it also represents our maternal instincts and how we nurture ourselves and others. The moon speaks to what makes us feel comfortable, safe, and taken care of emotionally. So moon signs come out when you're most vulnerable. Part of getting to know someone is seeing new sides of them, and sometimes it doesn't really feel like you know someone until you've seen them be truly vulnerable. And those moments are exactly when you'll really see someone's moon sign show. The moon is the part of ourselves that is felt deep within that we cannot easily express. Expect your moon sign's qualities to come out when you're feeling deeply emotional, extra sentimental, or simply when you're alone and can really be your truest, most vulnerable self. So your moon sign can affect your sun sign. Moon signs can also affect the way or to which degree we express our sun signs. Ever met someone whose zodiac sign doesn't seem to match up to their personality very well? This isn't too uncommon, considering we have many signs and planets that affect astrology in our birth charts. But looking into someone's moon sign can explain a lot when it comes to a confusing sun sign situation. Next to the sun itself, it's one of the most important personal planets, so we have to consider the balance between them. The moon sign can also influence your love life. Your love life is influenced by the moon in a significant way. When you're falling in love with someone, you're essentially opening up your heart to the possibility of heartbreak, and that's one of the most vulnerable feelings one can experience. So you can guarantee that your moon sign will come into play when dealing with such intimate, sentimental, and emotionally entwined relationships. If you're not in a relationship and are simply looking for an astrological love match, your moon sign might be an even better indicator to look to for guidance than your sun sign. When it comes to compatibility, we really need to pay close attention to the moon, as the moon represents our most private and instinctual self. Looking for love by examining this more intimate part of your chart can be a lot more telling than simply looking at your sun sign compatibility. Alright, so in order to calculate your moon sign, you're going to need to know your birthday, the time you were born, and the city you were born in. So you can basically just Google moon sign calculator, enter all your information in, and it will let you know what your moon sign is. Another way, and I think this is the best way, honestly, is there's an app that I use, and it's called Astromatrix. So you put in all that information, and when I come to my home page, right under my name, it has what are considered the 3 most important signs. My sun sign, which is Cancer, my moon sign, which is Pisces, and then my rising sign, and it's also called ascendant, Sagittarius. So you can, so then it will show you your chart, and then it will tell you which sign each planet is in, and then which house it's in, and if you click on it, it will explain it to you. So, like I said, my moon sign is Pisces. Let me just read this to you real quick. So, it says what you need. You are a very romantic and sensitive person and need to feel a sense of limitless possibility in your relationship. You can easily get swept off your feet in love and adore the sensation of getting lost in another person or a new affair. This is all fine and dandy until you realize that you may not have been seeing the other person or situation clearly. This is when a feeling of being lost and confused can set in. You have a keen sense of magic, mystery, and imagination. You are very creative and often have skills in the arts. While you may be resistant to having a fixed routine, dedicating yourself to nurturing your talents will pay off in the long run. You may be very spiritual and feel that there is something greater out there. Follow your intuition and explore these feelings, but remember to remain pragmatic, lest you find yourself swept away by a spiritual fad. You will benefit from balancing your dreams of fairy tale romance with a more practical and discerning perspective. All that glitters is not gold, and only when you can accurately assess whether a person's actions and daily behaviors are in line with the image they project will you know that you are truly connecting with who that person is, not just your idealized version of them. After you have learned to see people for who they really are and not who you want them to be, then you can properly channel your tremendous abundance of love and giving energy into the right people and situations. In those relationships, you will achieve the sense of endless creative and emotional gratification that you crave. Wow, when I read that, it blew my mind. Every single word is completely true. Completely. Ugh. I would get lost in whoever I was in a relationship with, not really knowing them. It was who I wanted them to be. I would see some potential, but that's not who they really were. And instead of accurately assessing whether a person's actions and behaviors are in line with the image they project, I would listen to what they were telling me and ignore their actions. But now I know actions speak louder than words, and I'm not going to believe what you're telling me unless it aligns with your actions. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick, let me tell you a little bit more about this app. So it has your birth chart, all that, and then also there's a section where you can learn about all the different planets. There's terms and the different houses. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick, just brief description of the moon signs for all of the 12 zodiac signs. Okay, if your moon is in Aries, you most likely have similar emotional traits to that of an Aries rising sign. You're passionate and fiery, and you thirst for action and novelty. You also feel things strongly, to the point where it can be hard to separate your feelings from your thoughts. These strong emotions can leave you feeling energetic and eager for more excitement. It's important for you to be fully engaged in your life, or else you'll experience frustration or anger. Emotionally, you know what you want and need and aren't afraid to ask for it. If your moon's in Taurus, you value stability and consistency in your life. Your first focus is on securing that your base needs will be met and will continue to be met. Security is of the utmost importance to you in jobs and vocations, etc. You most likely are a provider, financially or emotionally, to those you care about, but it's not all you are. Like a Taurus, those with Taurus in their chart tend to persistently seek luxury and nice things. Maybe your favorite way to unwind after a long week is by engaging in a little bit of retail therapy. Just be sure that you don't get too complacent once you found a way to get all your emotional needs met. Gemini. You probably value your friends, family, and confidants more than people realize. You feel seen when you have space to communicate and work through your feelings. Whether it be through writing, singing, or another communicative art form, you like to feel a connection to people through words. With a Gemini moon sign, it may be harder for you to stay fully present in the moment. It can be hard for you to truly feel your feelings, as distraction and restlessness can make you crave movement and action rather than stillness and reflection. If your moon's in Cancer, you probably feel most like yourself at home. Your Cancer energy makes you sensitive and a deep feeler. You have big feelings and require a lot of emotional intelligence in a partner in order to be truly happy. You tend to give your all emotionally, and maybe even physically to the people you care about. This can often lead to your detriment, however, so you need plenty of time to unwind and relax. Leo. Your preferred method of dealing with stress and emotional management is through creativity, whether it be through music, theater, poetry, painting, or something else. As an extroverted zodiac sign, you most likely have a large friend group. Your identity is probably wrapped up in that of the standing of your beloved communities. You pride yourself in being a leader. And as for romance, Leo, you love being in love. You want the whole romantic comedy, but like amped to the max. Just make sure that your ego isn't steering your emotions. If your moon's in Virgo, you feel the best when you are helping and supporting the people you care about. For you, a supporting role doesn't feel like second fiddle. It feels like a calling. But while it's easy for you to be gentle with others, giving yourself that same love and acceptance can be a little more challenging. Like a typical Virgo, you prize organization and efficiency. You also value your health and finances and most likely spend ample time exercising or planning for the future. Just don't let your long-time desire for security impede on your enjoyment of the present moment. Libra. Libras are typically known for seeking justice and peace, so it makes sense that you value and seek logic when it comes to emotions. This can make it challenging to make decisions as you are able to take multiple perspectives into account. However, because of the care you take in your decisions, they usually end up being beneficial to you and others in the long term. Romantically speaking, finding balance in a partner is key. You want a partner who complements your own personality traits and is as deeply invested as you are. Scorpio. You probably feel like you're on fire, like all the time. Much like the Scorpio sun sign, you burn brightly with all of your passion and desires at the forefront of your mind. You have no problem being alone and in fact may tire easily of people who don't share the same interests. While it takes a lot to gain your loyalty and trust, once you love someone, it's pretty much for forever. Barring something heinous like murder or high-heeled sneakers. Also, it can be challenging for you to verbally express your feelings. Your love language is more likely performing acts of service. You show your loyalty and love through your actions. For some signs, this works out great, but with other signs that require more verbal affirmation, it can be harder to find a middle ground. Sagittarius. You're the sign I'd want to get stuck in an elevator with. This moon sign speaks to a person who is adventurous in the external and internal world. Sagittarius moons tend to be open-minded and non-judgmental, making them great friends and people to talk to. They love to party and their freedom is their deepest joy. You feel best when you're learning something new and different, and your lighthearted view of the world helps you process emotions differently than the more dark or intense signs. Sagittarius can be hard to pin down in a relationship, but with the right partner, they'll never feel like they've lost their freedom. Capricorn. You feel responsible for the well-being of yourself and others and often consider external achievements to be a part of that. You are most likely self-assured and have clear expectations of what you need from yourself and others to succeed. As for your internal well-being, that can be challenging. Vulnerability doesn't come easily for you. And because of that, empathy can also be an area that your partners and friends may find lacking. It's hard for you to admit that you're human and make mistakes. In complex relationships, it takes a while for Capricorn moons to open up and show their true feelings. Aquarius. It may be hard for you to actually feel your emotions, as you may prefer to think them through or try to explain them in a way that you believe to be more efficient or less painful. You may hold humanitarian issues closer to your heart than other signs do, and you may look for similar values of compassion in a long-term partner. Occasionally, you may come off as cold or lacking in empathy to some of the other zodiac signs. Aquarius moons can trend towards emotional detachment, so having a strong support system is crucial. Most of all, Aquarius moons are not afraid to be themselves and tend to be special and noteworthy people that inspire others to lean in more closely to their own identities. And then here's Pisces again. You're a deep feeler, which can confuse not only the people in life, but also yourself. To others, this may come off as mysterious, but it can leave you feeling anxious. You may struggle with putting your emotions into actions and words, yet you feel warmly towards most people and value your creative expression. Friends can find your mercurial moods to be a bit disarming, but your love of feeling needed will help you maintain a connection with the people you care about. Alright, so let's talk about rising sun. So your rising sun sign represents your first impression on the world, who you appear to be when people first meet you at a party or work, for example, as well as your natural tendencies and temperament. It can also represent how you would like to be known as and your physical appearance. In fact, your rising sign is so important, it's often recommended to read the horoscope for your rising sign either instead of or alongside your sun sign. This is because sun sign astrology are created on a rising sun chart, because the rising sign is the first one on the left of the zodiacal wheel, and then all the other signs follow suit in order. That it is used as the starting base for creating horoscope predictions based on where the planets currently fall in the signs in the sky and your corresponding houses. Okay, and you can find out what your rising sun is the same way you could find out your moon sign. Either just Google rising sun calculator or download an app like Astromatrix or something similar to that, and you can learn about your whole birth chart. It's just super interesting to me and really helps me understand myself better. Alright guys, I hope you found this video informational and helpful, and yeah, once you find out your moon and rising sun, let me know what they are in the comments down below, and let me know if you think they accurately describe you. Alright guys, I love you. I will see you next time.